In this part of the basics section, we will discuss some of the key benefits of developing a successful community microgrid. We will begin by looking at the current context of microgrid development and why they seem to be trending now. We will then look at 4 key benefits that community microgrids can provide: maintaining continuity of power, reducing community energy costs, strengthening the main electrical grid, and improving the environment. So why are microgrids currently getting so much attention? Many municipalities have experienced the high costs and severe stress of extended power outages in their communities, including threats to health and well-being. Each event that disrupts the electrical grid imposes great strain on the emergency response system and the local economy. Rutgers University reported that Hurricane Sandy cost New Jersey's gross domestic product over $11.7 billion in foregone output, and Moody's Analytics estimated a loss of nearly $20 billion due to suspended business activities after the hurricane. These storms and power outages have highlighted the need for towns and cities to gain more control over their energy supply and to keep the power on when the central grid fails. Several states are also actively promoting the development of microgrids through studies, analyses, and pilot programs. New Jersey, through its Town Center Distributed Energy Resource Microgrid Feasibility Studies program, is supporting a range of pilot projects focused on the technical feasibility phase of the microgrid development process. Roughly $2 million is being invested in 13 pilot projects that include schools, municipal buildings, multifamily housing, wastewater treatment plants, hospitals, and other private sector critical facilities. The studies are currently underway with the goal of seeing what works and what doesn't as a means to guide future microgrid development projects in New Jersey. Microgrids can provide a range of complementary and interrelated benefits. First, and probably top of mind for most municipal stakeholders, community microgrids provide a means for municipalities to maintain power and continue to provide basic services to their citizens in the event of a central grid failure. Strategically locating the microgrid around critical facilities, such as hospitals and police and fire stations, will sustain vital operations during a crisis. And with enough generation capacity, other users can be added, such as businesses and residences. But microgrids also provide a range of other additional benefits. Community microgrids give local leaders the power to serve their community's energy needs in a more economical, reliable, and environmentally conscious manner. Municipalities can also utilize microgrids to gain control over energy costs, reduce pollution, and address climate concerns by improving energy efficiency and incorporating renewable energy strategies. In addition, being able to offer reliable premium power and cleaner energy can attract new investment and enhance community prosperity. Let's look at all these benefits in a bit more detail. Let's look first at maintaining power continuity. A community's critical infrastructure demands a reliable, uninterrupted source of electricity. Because microgrids can separate or island from the central grid, they can stop power flow to or from the central grid at any time to protect the community from a power failure moving along the central grid. In islanded mode, the community microgrid uses its on-site generation to provide power to its customers, the critical service facilities and other businesses included in the microgrid. Citizens outside the microgrid who have lost power can also access medical care, shelter, food, and other necessities by traveling into the microgrid's borders. One of the world's largest cooperative housing developments, New York's Co-op City, is home to a community microgrid that includes a 40-megawatt combined heat and power plant. This microgrid successfully kept the lights on for the Co-op City residents during Superstorm Sandy. Likewise, Princeton University, which operates a 15-megawatt microgrid for its campus, was able to weather the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy virtually without interruption, successfully providing power and heat for all 12,000 people on its campus for the duration of the post-Sandy power outages. A second key benefit is that community microgrids can enhance the economics of the jurisdiction where they are located. Towns and cities with microgrids offer reliable power, cleaner energy services, and better electricity rates that serve to entice business investment in the community, particularly those industries sensitive to power outages, such as high-tech, research, pharmaceutical, and data centers. The combination of nearby generation and the ability to island off of the main grid also make a community microgrid a dependable backup in the event of a central grid failure. Community microgrids can also reduce the cost of electricity, a special benefit in New Jersey, which has some of the highest electricity costs in the nation. The advanced controllers and software of today's microgrids provide highly effective cost management by choosing to buy energy from the main grid or produce energy on the microgrid, depending on which price structure is more favorable. Microgrids also allow communities to participate in demand response programs. These programs compensate end-use customers, in this case the community microgrid, for reducing electricity use or load during periods of high power prices or when the reliability of the grid is threatened. Demand response programs in New Jersey are managed by PJM, the regional transmission organization that manages the wholesale electricity market and the high-voltage electricity grid in our region. Demand response programs can provide an important additional revenue stream for communities that implement microgrids. Systems that can reduce both electricity and heating costs provide additional economic benefits to a community. Combined heat and power systems, like the one in the diagram, do just that. They capture and make use of the valuable heat typically discarded and wasted in conventional power plants, providing it to facilities that can use it at significantly less cost than using fossil fuel to create this heat from scratch. In situations where providing heat energy in addition to electrical power are feasible, adding a CHP system makes a lot of sense and can significantly improve the economics of a community microgrid. A third benefit is more regional in nature. The unique characteristics of a microgrid can help strengthen the central grid and improve its resilience. Energy transmission and distribution infrastructure is aging. To maintain grid capacity, utilities must invest in costly maintenance and upgrades. These costs are then passed on to the utilities' customers. Microgrids reduce customer demand on the main grid, allowing the utility to defer or avoid some of these otherwise necessary investments. This effect can be optimized even more when microgrids are strategically located in areas that are already close to maximum distribution capacity. In addition, microgrids, in combination with other demand reduction strategies, such as energy efficiency, have the potential to reduce overall demand on the grid enough to potentially eliminate the need for new, centralized power plants. During extreme weather that can overtax the central grid, a microgrid can also help the grid by reducing or shedding load to ease the strain on the system. That is, the central grid can stop transmitting power to certain facilities and the microgrid takes over. Microgrids also play a significant role in the event of a cyber attack. Threats of cyber attacks are increasing, and the vulnerability of the U.S. grid is a major concern. Homeland Security has acknowledged that the U.S. energy infrastructure is a target of such attacks, and damage to the U.S. grid could have wide-ranging effects nationwide. By being decentralized, microgrids can help reduce a region's vulnerability to a cyber attack on the main grid. Recognizing this, the military is currently at the forefront of microgrid development. And finally, microgrids can improve the environment by helping cities to significantly increase the use of clean, renewable energy systems in their jurisdictions. When they are powered by non-renewable energy sources, buildings are a major contributor to carbon pollution. Microgrids reduce the carbon emissions attributed to buildings by bringing together energy efficiency, clean, renewable local generation, and smarter energy management to maximize the amount of non-polluting energy that is produced. These strategies not only reduce overall usage of energy from non-renewable sources, they can also save communities money by generating their own power when electricity from the grid is expensive, for example during peak demand periods like a hot July afternoon, and then using grid power when the price is lower, for example at night when outdoor temperatures are cooler. Incorporating combined heat and power is another environmentally friendly strategy. CHP systems use their fuels much more efficiently, thus burning far less to supply the same amount of energy as a single fuel option. Energy efficiency, renewable energy, and highly efficient fuel-based systems like CHP can thus significantly reduce carbon emissions and contribute to local, regional, and even global environmental objectives.